Budapest is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Europe. It's known for its rich culture, unique architecture, and as well as being the spa capital of the world. In this video, I've listed the top 10 tourist attractions you have to visit on a trip to Budapest. So when you're in Budapest, I recommend you download the Budapest Go app. It's like a simple transport app that shows you all the transport options around the city, and you can also use it to buy transport tickets. In particular, I recommend you guys get this single one-day travel card. It's about 1,600 forints, which is £3 to £4, so very cheap compared to London and other Western European countries. And yeah, you can use it on all public transport services, so definitely get it if you're planning to travel around the city a lot. So the first tourist attraction you have to visit when you're in Budapest is the Jewish Quarter, or in particular the Great Synagogue. Budapest has a very large Jewish population. It's actually a bit of a sad story. During World War II, Budapest was occupied by Germany and the Soviet army at some point, and as a result about 250,000 Jews died in Budapest. So there's a lot of memorials dedicated to World War II and all the Jewish population around the whole city, so yeah, it's very poignant. Anyway, the Jewish Quarter is one of the most sort of famous tourist hotspots all around Budapest. There's loads of bars and sort of restaurants all around this area, and when you're in this area as well, you should probably check out the Great Synagogue. The Great Synagogue is the largest in Europe and it fits well over 3,000 people. So the synagogue is open every day from 10 to 6, apart from Fridays when it's open from 10 to 4. It's 7,000 forint to enter, which is about £6 or £7 per adult, so a fairly decent price. Unfortunately, we've arrived around about 5:30 PM, so it's a bit too late to enter, but if you come here with plenty of time in your day, then definitely check it out. We've just come to the other side of the river Danube or Danube. I'm not entirely sure what the correct pronunciation is. But yeah, we've come to Liberty Bridge, which is the second oldest bridge in Budapest. You can see it looks very stylish. I guess it's sort of a similar sort of structure, sort of steel structure to Tower Bridge, I guess, in London. The only difference is fully green and doesn't have the famous towers that Tower Bridge does. But yeah, very pretty bridge, and I guess a good photo opportunity. The next place on your must-see list in Budapest has to be GELLÉRT Hill. It's one of the highest points within Budapest, and as you can see, it gives you fantastic views of the whole city. You can even see Liberty Bridge, where I was about 10-15 minutes ago. It's about 300 meters high. It's a very easy walk to the top of the hill, and yeah, definitely worth it for the views alone. The next place on your must-see list in Budapest is Buda Castle. I feel like every good European city has a famous castle / palace, and Budapest is no different. Right now, I'm standing in a sort of Renaissance gardens, which look very pretty, and I'm going to make my way to the top to see what else the castle has to offer. The top of Buda Castle is free to visit, and from the top you get even more spectacular views of Budapest, including GELLÉRT Hill, which is one of the places as mentioned you should visit earlier in this video. And you've got the bridges all in the distance. What viewpoint do you think is better, this castle or the one from GELLÉRT Hill?
This one.
Why is that?
Well, two things. You're not covered by trees everywhere, and number two, you can actually get here without having to actually climb the whole way.
So what my sister means is, to get to the top of Buda viewpoint, all you had to do was just take a lift and then escalate to another lift. Whereas to get to the top of GELLÉRT Hill, as you can probably guess, you had to walk all the way up. I mean, it's not that far. It was, what, 15 minutes, but...
Now we're both out of water as a result.
Yes, I guess that's a true point. It's a very hot day today. It's in the mid-30s, and yeah, we've both finished our water. So yeah, maybe Buda Castle is a better viewpoint in that regard. And it's also free as well to get to the top of the castle. So why not? And there's loads of other things to do around this whole castle complex, which I'm going to show you guys later in this video. We've walked a bit further down the top of Buda Castle, and in front of us you can see the chain bridge. The chain bridge would have featured on the video if I had done it about a year ago or a year in the future, but as you can see, there's a lot of construction work going on, and therefore it doesn't really look that great. So the castle complex also contains a National Gallery of Budapest. Right now there's an Art Deco exhibition going on if you to visit in summer of 2022. 10 minutes down the road from Buda Castle, we probably have the most famous tourist attraction in the whole of Budapest, and that is the Fisherman's Bastion. Fisherman's Bastion is a monument of sorts that is dedicated to the 7 sort of chieftains who founded Budapest well over 1,000 years ago. Each sort of cone you see there is supposed to represent each chieftain, and yeah, it's definitely one of the most popular places in Budapest, and definitely something that you should be on your itinerary. If you come all the way to the top of Fisherman's Bastion, you get a really good opportunity for photos, as you can probably see some tourists here are doing. And if you want to check out the photos I've taken from the top of here, make sure you check me out on Instagram, Journal of an Explorer. So from Fisherman's Bastion, on the opposite side of the river, you can see the Hungarian Parliament, which is one of the largest parliaments in Europe. In fact, you might notice it looks very similar to the UK Houses of Parliament, in the sense that it's right next to the river, similar design, though I would say the UK Parliament is much prettier because of its sort of gold painting. And to get the best view of the Parliament in Hungary, I recommend you do come to the other side of the river from it, where you can get like a nice wide panoramic shot. One of the main attractions of Budapest is its thermal spas. Now there's quite a few, but by far the most famous is the SZÉCHENYI Medical Spa, which is just in City Park, which is to the north of Budapest, sort of city centre slash the old town bit. Yeah, it's definitely the most famous spa. It's about 7,000 forint for a day ticket with a locker, which is the equivalent of about £15-16, and yeah, it's one of the best spas. And also, if you do come to the city park, there's also Budapest Zoo, which is right opposite the spa, so you can sort of make it sort of a joint trip. So behind me we have St. Stephen's Basilica, which is one of the largest and probably the most popular church within Budapest. As you can see, it looks very impressive with its architecture and so forth. It's free to visit inside as long as there's no service or anything going on. And there's also a lookout, so I'm gonna go and check the lookout out and show you guys why you should visit here and why you should add to your itinerary. So we just walked out of the cathedral. I didn't want to talk in there or vlog in there much because it was very quiet. I wanted to be respectful towards everyone else that was inside. But oh my god, it was probably one of the most beautiful cathedrals I've been to. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Very pretty, very beautiful. I think the highlight was they have like the right hand of Saint Stephen preserved there, and he died about 1,000 years ago. So considering he died about 1,000 years ago, it's still in pretty good condition, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely worth visiting if you're around the area. And now we're going to go up to the lookout to check out the views from the top. So we've got to the top of the lookout, and what do you think?
It's nice.
Yeah, it was about 3,000 forint to come up, and I think it's worth it. I mean, you've got Buda Castle just over there, and just to the right you can see Fisherman's Bastion and Matthias Church, and yeah, you've just got these amazing views all of Budapest. I would hazard a guess, and I would hazard and say this is probably the best viewpoint in Budapest. If you want to oversee Budapest, that is. It's definitely not the cheapest. The cheapest would be GELLÉRT Hill and Buda Castle itself and Fisherman's Bastion, which are all free. But yeah, this is definitely the best viewpoint. I mean, just look at this. It's just stunning. So the only thing to bear in mind when you're going to look up is that we did a lift up, but there was a bit of a queue. And we're going to get the stairs down. Apparently it's 345 stairs and they look a bit narrow. So for those of you that are a bit claustrophobic, take care. As I mentioned earlier, Budapest has a lot of Jewish history, and the Jews in Budapest suffered a lot during World War II. As such, there are loads of memorials around the city dedicated to the Jewish plight and sort of the general public plight during World War II. The most poignant of them being the shoes on the Danube River. The memorial is dedicated to all the Jewish and other citizens who were brutally murdered during World War II by the fascist party of Hungary. What happened was all the people that were getting murdered were lined up along the riverbank, as you can see. And what the fascist party would do is they'll tell them to all remove their shoes because the shoes were quite valuable back in the 1940s and they could be resold later. And so they'll take the shoes off and then essentially be shot in the back of the head so that they'll fall into the river and their bodies would disappear and all that would remain are the shoes. So it's a definitely sad story. It's a point you're reminded to the troubled history Budapest has had. The final tourist destination you have to visit in Budapest is Margaret Island. Margaret Island is an island that's right in the middle of the Danube, just to the sort of the eastern end of the city. There's lots of things to do here. There's even like a mini zoo. Apparently there's a Budapest sign somewhere here. There's loads of things to do, so it's a great place for a family day out on a short trip. Margaret Island is huge, and one thing I've noticed is that people have been renting out these bikes and stuff to help them get around the island. I know these bikes are about 3,000 forint for about half an hour. You can get sort of motorised bikes over there, or you can go old school and just get a traditional bicycle. But yeah, it might be worthwhile you guys getting a bike to get around the island because it is huge. Or if you want to save money like myself, you can just walk around everywhere. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's top 10 things you have to see when you're in Budapest as a tourist. If you did like this video, make sure you like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. And as always, stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one.